how to deal with mistakes that you might do as founder or entrepreneur, or how to deal with the fear of failure. I wanted to talk about this topic because I actually was just recently interviewed in this podcast, and they asked me a few questions about this topic, and I thought that okay, if people are thinking about this, if they are asking me about this question, I really wanted to also film a whole YouTube video about this, because maybe you are the one now currently thinking about like, what if I do mistakes, or you have done a mistake and you are now just starting trying to figure out how to overcome that, and also how to overcome the fear of failure that might come after making some mistakes in your career. And especially as entrepreneurs, like there is no boss, or there is no like a leader to us that is going to be there holding our hands. I would say that business coach is probably closest the type of leader that you could need to help you to lead your company to success. But other than that, like there's no one taking you, keeping you accountable, and helping you when you do mistakes. Like it's pretty lonely. Like entrepreneurship is lonely. Like there's nobody that cares as much about your business as you. So I wanted to talk about this after this long intro. I'm going to be sharing the first tip that I have found myself that has worked, and really trying to deal with the failure and the mistakes the same way that you deal with success. And you might now think like, what does that mean? But the thing is that you should definitely see them at the same level, because if you start viewing yourself through your successes, then it becomes harder to you when you fail, when you do mistakes, because you automatically think that okay, if I am like my successes, I might be also like my failures, and that is not the case. Like you should feel pretty neutrally about both of those things, because you are you, no matter what success you have or what mistakes you do. Like you are you, and that's not going to be taking away from your worth, or like from your like self-worth or anything like that. And that's why I really would recommend you to view yourself separately, that you are not your latest successful achievement, for example, but you are you, and your successes, your failures, they are a separate thing from you. Also understanding that your failures don't define you. Like that is the one thing that I really want you to understand, that your success don't define you, but also neither does your failures. And every time you're facing those hard times, you're doing mistakes, you're struggling, you should definitely view that time that okay, this is the time that I'm going to be needing in order to create some compelling content in the future, or like your compelling story, or like a relatable story. Like what type of success story is that? Okay, I just did this thing, I succeeded, nothing happened, here I am. Like that's not a success story. Like a real success story looks like you struggled a lot in the beginning, then you had some success, but then you struggled a little bit more, and then you you had some bigger successes. So like that is just part of your story, and understanding that you need those struggles, you need those mistakes and failures in order to actually even become a success story. Like that's necessary for you. So embrace that, and really like be thankful that oh, I'm thankful to having these failures and mistakes, so that I can learn from them. Like I can learn to become better, because I heard this from another podcast actually, that was talking about this topic, that you are the one who is going to be knowing the answers to each and every single question that you are now trying to figure out. Like it's you, it's the future you who can help you to walk through those things. And if you think this in a way that your future self is able to overcome all these problems, all these struggles, all these mistakes, like your future you is not going to be doing those mistakes anymore. So that person is going to be really powerful, really great entrepreneur, and that person can't be a great entrepreneur if they don't do mistakes and face some failures so that they can overcome them and become stronger, become better at them. So I think it's just beautiful to think about that in a way that it's you, it's your future self. Like, it actually makes me even a little bit emotional. Like, that person it's sitting right there who is going to be able to say how you are going to overcome the mistakes and the failures that you are now facing or you're going to face in the future. Also understanding that a question of what if I fail is actually saying that I might not be willing to risk my ego, my time, my money, my energy into seeing if this works out, because that's what you're going to be risking. It's your ego, it's your money, it's your time. And if you ask those questions like, what if I fail? Like, that's you yourself, you're asking, like, am I willing to risk those things? But what if you actually started asking yourself, like, what if I win? Like, trying to reframe that question, like, what if I win? What are all the things that I could achieve, or what type of life I could be living if I win? I didn't fail, I actually figured out the way. Because it is true, like, nothing is certain. Like, you might fail, but I don't even think about failing as something that if I don't figure out something the first time, like, it's not failure for me. Failure for me is that if I stop trying. So if I just quit and I didn't try again, that's a failure to me, at least. So thinking in a way that I'm going to be asking myself, what if I win? Because in order to achieve any kind of success, you need to risk your ego, your money, your time, your energy. Like, that is what you need to do in order to succeed. So if you want to succeed, you need to be willing to take the risk of failing as well. And the next tip that I could give you is also to understand that in business, if you are worrying about doing mistakes while running your business, or like that's what's going to happen. And when your business is failing, it's actually your business giving lessons to you, because you are learning from those mistakes and from those failures to avoid those failures in the future. And when you are succeeding and when there is no bigger mistakes or failures in your business, that is when you are giving the business the lessons that you have already learned. I heard this one from Alex Hormozi from one of his videos, and I really liked this idea of your business giving lessons to you, teaching you as an entrepreneur. And when the business is doing really well, that is when you are giving the business all the lessons you've learned. And I think it's just the balance. It's going to happen like after having that time of success, like, you can already know after you've done business for a while that it's going to get hard at some points. Like, there's not going to be a time that it's only going to be successes after successes and like all the achievements without any mistakes and failures. Like, that's not going to happen ever. Business is about problem solving, and when you accept that, it's easier to wait and see when your business is giving you some new lessons to learn so that you will become better at what you do. And the next tip is definitely that if you think about not doing something because you are afraid of mistakes and failure, like, people are going to judge you anyway. They are going to judge you if you did something else. So why you wouldn't rather actually just be doing what you want to do and take the risk of failing, doing some mistakes, and being judged because of that, because of doing what you wanted to do in the first place. And you are going to also learn how to solve those problems, how to overcome those mistakes, and get the life that you wanted. because that's the only way you are going to get it, is through doing the things, taking the risks. So definitely I would say that do it, and don't care about the people. Like if they are, like if you are scared of doing the mistakes because you are scared of being judged by other people, like they are going to judge you anyway. Remember that. So the next step is that you just need to keep going. Like even if you did a mistake today, like you can little bit cry about it a little bit, but then the next thing is that you need to keep going. Like there's no other way. Like you need to just keep on pushing, keep on going, and like life will show you that it's worth it at the end. Like even if you did a mistake, say you're sorry. Like if it hurt somebody, like apologize from them and just keep going. Like there's no other way. Like I don't think there is a mistake or a failure that would lead you to a point where you can't continue. Like of course if you're doing something illegal, that's going to stop you when you go to prison, for example. But like we are now talking about some mistakes that you are probably like, what if I said something that hurt like others' feelings or something like that. I hope that we are talking about this type of mistakes, or whatever it is. Like you can comment or DM me and share something personal even. Like I would like to hear what type of mistakes you are now afraid of doing. But anything business related, I would say that those are the moments where you can learn and just keep on going, trying again. Like don't worry about it too much. Like try to think things in a long-term game rather than short-term game. Like now a mistake, a failure that you did might seem big, or like a big thing, or bad thing. But if you think about this in decades, does it really matter? Like in 20 years, like will anyone even remember that you did this mistake? And if you think about people, like famous people, like people have such a short memory. Like people have done big mistakes, and people have, like others have forgotten that. And there are these type of people in public media as well. So I wouldn't really worry about these mistakes, but just trying to learn from them so that you don't do them again. Like that is something that also my business coach said to me, that you should definitely try to do business in a way that you are not going to repeat those mistakes. Like if something happens, if you fail, try to analyze it and think like what happened and what I can do in the future so that I don't do that again. If your team member does a mistake, also the same thing with them. But then you just need to keep going. Like there's no other way. You can just keep on going. I hope you found this helpful and valuable, and I hope that we see in the next video. Bye bye.